Hey, good morning, everyone. I am starting a new segment that I'm going to call Creative Vlog, where I'm going to show everything that I've done in the last week or two. So I'm going to just jump right into that. I do a mix of like machine embroidery and sewing and crochet. So I've got a little bit of each to show you. So I've got a couple projects from each of those categories. And I'll tell you like where I got the project, and you can see what I've done in the last couple of weeks because I'm always making stuff. And I thought, I've watched some really great quilters vlogs, and I just started a new really big quilt that I'm really excited about, and I've got lots that I want to share with you. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a Halloween thing that I just finished up. Now it's November, so I'll mostly be enjoying these next year, but I did finish them before Halloween. So this is it's actually meant to be a jar topper where you put it in between the ring of the jar and the lid part, and then it sits on top of your jar and you fill your jar with candy corn or Halloween candy of some kind or cookies or whatever. But I decided to put it inside of a wooden hoop instead. So it's a happy little bat. The bat is made with felt, and I just used scraps that I already had at home. And then I loved it so much that I made a second one in a lighter color felt with the pink instead. So I did purple and pink bats. The design is from a machine embroidery company called Kimberbell, that if you do machine embroidery, you've probably heard of them. They're super popular. They do tons and tons and tons of stuff. They've definitely got my number because I love everything they come out with. So I love this little bat jar topper. This, you don't buy it directly from Kimberbell. You buy this design from one of their participating quilt shops. And then once you've done that, then the download shows up on your Kimberbell account. They've got a bunch of different ways to get various designs that they sell. So there's a bunch of different cool stuff that they do. And I have so many of their projects that I need to do. So one of the other things that I did was for an order for someone in my neighborhood is I crocheted a few of these little cup cozies. So I used this variegated yarn that's from Michael's, and I did 4 of these because they wanted some different color combinations. So all of them look different, right? So this one's got a little bit of the gold here, not really much on the front. This one doesn't have any of the gold. So they come out super duper different. And yeah, so I made a few of these. I can link to the design below if you're a crocheter. This is from LTK Cuties, the design. And I believe she calls this stitch, her items are usually called Meadow. I think this is the Meadow stitch. And I love her stuff. She has tons of stuff in this stitch, and I've made some really cute like little pouches with this stitch. I've made tons of cup cozies, some with felties on, some not, and I made some of those this week. I stitched out a sample, so I'm just using scraps here. I stitched out a sample of a new design that I had my digitizer make for me. I found just a random digitizer guy on Etsy because I don't have my own embroidery machine software. So I just get him to make stuff for me, and he's great. So I had him make me this design. So I haven't put it on any shirts or anything yet. I just did this is just a sample stitch out, right? So I just used scraps, and I wouldn't use these colors for a shirt probably. I just used stuff that I had on hand that was extra. I don't use the orange very much, and I want to use it up. So then I just want to see how the stitch out goes. So I've got this in celebration of Taylor's new album. And then another machine embroidery project that I did is this pillow blank. The pillow blank comes from Kimberbell, already mostly assembled, already quilted. And then I just added this design that's also a Kimberbell design. So it's a collage technique where you cut kind of random, usually curved pieces, but all kinds of different shapes. And then you put those on over your placement line, and then it just gives you like a collage of all these different fabrics. And then you trim it And then every project is really, really unique. So that says Make Life Beautiful. So I've got that pillow that I don't know if I'm going to keep for myself. I've got it in my sewing room on one of the chairs right now, and we'll see. I might eventually gift it to someone. Another big project I started probably more like probably a month ago is I'm making a really, really gigantic queen size, like I want to say 70 by 90 crochet blanket in a waffle stitch. And it's actually in one of the local high schools' team colors. So this is for an order. A friend of mine wants a giant blanket that her and her husband can both fit under and wrap around themselves for those chilly football games that their son plays. So she wanted to do eight waffles in the dark green and then 2 in the gold. And then we'll just repeat that pattern. So I'll do 8 waffles here in the dark green and then another 2 of the gold. So that's the pattern, is 8 green, 2 gold. But it's going to be enormous. I don't know if I can even show you how wide it is, but like I've got the width here and it's huge so that they can wrap themselves in it and have it underneath them when they're sitting down. And so I'm working on that. I got all the yarn from the States because I love this yarn. It's just the absolute best. So that's going to be a big project. I don't know when I'll have that done. I'll be working on that here and there in between other projects constantly over the next year probably. Okay, and back to machine embroidery. Another Kimberbell project that I have is over the past year they had a subscription for a little Christmas village that you actually make on your embroidery machine. It's really cool. You use this stiffened felt stuff and then you put fabric over it, stitch this house design, and then you assemble the house with your sewing machine and with glue. So I have all of those. I've only made, I guess this is the first one of my Christmas village that I've made. I made a sample little starter house that's actually a free design that I can link in the description. If you have an embroidery machine, you can try their starter house for free. And then this one is the old world bungalow, I believe. So this is done on an embroidery machine. And then so you do the back is one design, and then the front and one of the sides is one design, the back and one of the sides is one design, the roof is another design. And then you put it together using your sewing machine and then glue the roof on with whatever glue you choose. I've got a bunch of different ones that I'm trying. I tried this mono liquid glue for the roof and I didn't really love that and it wasn't drying fast enough. And then I switched to hot glue. And then, and I've also got fabric tack to try, and I've also got Gorilla fabric glue. So I've got a few different things that I like, and it just depends on the project. I also have liquid stitch, so I use those at different points, depending on what the project is. And I use my sewing machine to sew on these buttons. So the subscription included the digital files and all the materials needed to make this, and then any embellishments, right? So there's little buttons included. And then it was one box a month. So generally one house a month, one building a month. This one actually included this bungalow and also a little dog house. So I made those this week. So it included the materials to make both of these. And then what I'm going to do is the windows are actually chiffon. So then if you put fairy lights or an electric tea light inside, you can see the light coming out the windows and it looks so great. So I'm going to have lights in all of them and then I'll set them up. I'm probably going to use the fairy lights from Costco because they have a timer on them. And then I could do 1 to 2 or even more houses per string of fairy lights. So the Costco ones, where I am in Canada, you get 4 sets of fairy lights that are quite long for $13-ish, something like that, $15, somewhere around there. So I've made these 2 this week, and the subscription box even came with a little dog for that month. So there's a dog for the doghouse, and he actually even fits inside. You can put the doghouse right over the dog, which my 7-year-old did this morning. It was very cute. Okay, and continuing on with machine embroidery, last Friday I did a Kimberbell event. So through a local sewing shop, I did it virtually, so I attended on Zoom, but they mailed me my kit with all the materials ahead of time, with all the files and everything. So the first thing that we made was this really cool ornament-shaped zipper pouch, and you use clear vinyl, and you put these glitter, well, they're glitter or sequins, little tiny sequins. They're sequins more than they are glitter, but that's actually in its own pocket, and you do all of that on the embroidery machine, the whole thing on the embroidery machine. It's really, really cool. So it's not like the glitter or the sequins are gonna fall out at all. They're totally encased in there. Really, really sparkly and cute. And then you can also put something in there. I don't think this one's quite big enough to fit a gift card. Maybe I'll try. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I could get the other half in though. But you could put, but there's bigger sizes, and there's like a present shaped one that I'm sure you could fit a gift card in that. And there's another one, a circle. So you probably couldn't fit a gift card in that one. I've just done this one, and I want to do the other ones for sure. And I have lots of this glitter sequin stuff now because they gave me tons of extra. And then I'll probably put a string through here and hang it on the tree. It could just be an ornament just as is, even if I don't put anything in it, but I could put a little treat or a note or something in there if I wanted to give this to someone and put it on the outside of a present. I could put a to from note in there and put it on the outside of a present. Anyway, there's lots of cute stuff. And then, like I said, well, there's a bigger design of this ornament shape, and then there's multiple sizes of the present design and the circle design. So the bigger ones, I think you could fit, I'm sure you could definitely fit a gift card in the bigger designs. So then also as part of the event, we also did this really cute bag. So this is a new, what's called a blank that Kimberbell sells. So they'll sell you this pouch, and it won't be sewn up on the side. So you can easily put it on your embroidery machine and embroider whatever you want. So I did the Christmas design with the flamingo, jingle, jingle, let's flamingo. And then all I had to do was sew up that side, and then it's made. And then it's a little cinch sack that I can use for presents, gift cards, little trinkets. Okay, there's one other thing. Oh, and there was a third thing we made at the event that's just a little tag or a little keychain. And there's other designs as well. There's a little flamingo and a little flip-flop. And we did the little palm tree, and then it came with a little tassel and the little chain to finish it off. So that could be cute to add to the outside of a gift or to have as your keychain. Or I could even put it on a bookmark and have it be the top of the bookmark or something like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna try to wrap up quickly here. I have a sewing project I did a couple weeks ago for a lady in my neighborhood that requested bowl cozies. So this one turned out a bit smaller, and this one turned out a bit bigger. So they've got the extra thick batting in them, and they're reversible. So you can have the lemons on the outside, or you can have the cute little bicycles on the outside. And then those, you can put them in the microwave. I've never had any issues with them going in the microwave. There's no metal bits in the batting that I use. I use the 100% natural batting that's just strictly straight off the sheet kind of thing without any additives. So you can put it in the microwave, or you just put your bowl in the microwave And then when you take your bowl out, then you put it in your cozy, which is what most people recommend. But again, I haven't had any issues with putting it in the microwave as well. And then this one turned out a bit bigger, and that's another reversible one. That's the fabric that she chose. And so I did 2 different colorways of that same pattern. So I'm really happy with those. And then she's got 2 different sizes that she can pick from. And another project that I made, another subscription product from Kimberbell. They have what's called the Perfectly Pieced subscription, which is where essentially you're making traditionally pieced quilting blocks, but you're making them on your embroidery machine. So they always turn out perfect, right? So you always have perfectly straight lines and everything turns out really great. So I believe this design is called Stacked Triangles, which some of you might have done quilting and done this block. So then I was able to use my embroidery machine to make this pouch. And so it's a fully lined, and the lining is like a really soft flannel, a really fun yellow plaid. And there's that. So there's an oversized zipper pouch for keeping whatever in, and I'll probably give that as a gift at some point. And last but not least, I started this huge koalas quilt, the big one, and the big one is 65 by 78, and it's gonna look like that with 12 koalas hanging onto trees there by Elizabeth Hartman. And a local quilt shop's actually doing a quilt along for whatever Elizabeth Hartman pattern you want to do. So I'm the only one doing koalas. Other people are doing flamingos. At least 1 or 2 people are doing the dinosaurs quilt, which is adorable. And yeah, I jumped at the chance to do that because I have had this koalas kit with the original fabrics that she actually used to make this exact quilt in my stash for probably 3.5 years, probably since COVID, when I was buying millions of quilt kits and just sewing all the time. So I got all my pieces cut for this, which was no small task. It was tons and tons and tons and tons of pieces, including, oh my goodness, 192 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares. And I actually did 208 of them because I want to make the big quilt, but I also want to do the pillow. So I had extra background. I have enough extra background and leaf fabric and tree trunk fabric and ear fabric for sure to do a pillow, but I'm gonna have to find somewhere to source these Manchester wovens because there's not enough of the koala body for many of the colors to do another whole koala body. So I could make a really weird like rainbow mishmash koala body, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to try to figure out, I don't think there's any local quilt shops in my city that sell the Manchester. I've never seen it. So I'm gonna have to figure out where I can get that, if I can order it online. I don't want to pay a zillions of dollars for shipping for that. So I'm gonna figure something out. And just to finish off, not only did I get all the cutting done, but then yesterday we had another online Zoom quilt along, which I could go in person for some of them. Right now I've just gone, just attended virtually. So I may yet go in person to one of them, but I did get one block done, and these koala blocks are huge. They're like 16.5 by 18.5 or something like that. So I got my first koala done, everything cut and one koala done. And he's definitely not perfect. And this ended up a little bit crooked. And I redid this seam because it was way off. But, you know, overall, I'm happy. I'm still working on my piecing techniques. There's tons of really, really, really tiny pieces in this quilt. And so I'm just gonna do the best that I can. And someone once said, you know, if you can't see the mistake when you're driving by your quilt at 50 kilometers an hour on the highway, then it's fine, which I don't think you could see any mistake at that speed. So anyway, let me know which one of your projects that I did in the last couple weeks is your favorite. And hopefully I will be back and see you again next Friday or Saturday if I don't get this video posted until tomorrow. I do still have some Halloween projects that are going to pop up here and there. I'm going to keep working on the koalas quilt, obviously. I'm going to keep working on my huge waffle stitch blanket, and then I'll probably have some other things here and there. I'm thinking I might want to finish this in November so that I have it to display in my own home for December. There's lots more buildings. There's a really cool clock tower that comes with a little working clock, and there's a school, a church, houses, general store, candy store, and they all have little bonus accessories like a little floor mat that goes in front of the door, or special buttons, or they've got an assortment of materials like leather on them and glitter. Like this is a heat transfer vinyl that's a white glitter. Okay, so until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again next week.